Welcome to the channel rather dubiously called Rufioh. I'm the best Yu-Gi-Oh tuber in my street, a very average player who uses this platform to trick you into thinking I'm good at and capable of playing Yu-Gi-Oh on any kind of level at all. Before we get started, why don't you hit subscribe for me, even if it's not because you secretly enjoy bad content, but because you pity me. I need every bit of help I can get. Hi guys, it's Joe here from Rufioh. We got another one of the Bedford Boys here. He's usually on matches getting slated by you all, but we decided we'd bring him in for a profile instead. A little bit easier. So this is Kalum, and what have you brought for us, Kalum?
So I've bought for you Weathery.
Weathery.
Or Weather Painters, however you wanna call them.
Mm-hmm.
Just a fun little rogue deck that's extremely annoying to actually try and out if you don't have very weird sort of specific answers for the deck.
Mm-hmm.
It can give some decks a run for their money, especially Thunder Dragon.
And people also just don't know how to play against it. It's like another one of those decks.
Yeah, expect to go to time with this. And I know that's a bit memey with me, because
that's all you ever do.
I'm always going to time, but your opponents will be spending a good 20 minutes reading the absolute essays that are on these cards.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But here I'm going to talk through the deck, go through some of my card choices, explain a few of the really niche and weird interactions that this deck can provide, because there are quite a few really sort of like spicy things that you can do with the deck. And hopefully you guys will check it out and give it a go.
Cool, alright, sweet. We'll get stuck in, shall we?
Alright. So, onto the main deck. So, your starter cards are 3 Weather Painter Snow and 3 Weather Painter Thunder.
Okay.
Both of these cards, they activate the weathery spells and traps from the deck. This will do it on normal summon. And this you can pop a face-up continuous spell trap on your board to then activate one from deck. Basically, these cards are really good because you can't ash them.
Okay.
Because they're activating straight from the deck.
Yeah.
They just can't be ashed. They can be impermanents or veiled, but if you already have one of your canvases on board, you can use their effects to then tag out for whatever activation it may be, to then dodge the effects of impermanent Veiler.
Oh, that's always good. So you make them just waste
that's the whole thing of this deck. Like, you can make people just waste their resources really easily. So yeah.
And it grinds so well that they can literally just lose on that alone.
Yeah, this deck will drown your opponent in card advantage very quickly. You'll start getting to a point where you're going +3, +4 every single turn.
Nice.
In your turn and in their turn. So yeah.
Sweet.
Alright, on to the next one. This is kind of a starter card and kind of not. So we have 2 Aurora. This card here is absolutely key to the deck. It's really shit in your opening hand. I'm not gonna lie. Unless you have Valhalla, where you can special summon a Weathery and then maybe tribute summon this, or just special summon this straight to the board.
Presumably that's why you run 2, so you open it a bit less often.
You want to see this some of the time, but not all of the time. It's one of those cards. But you have to play 2, because in case one gets outed, you need the other one as a backup. But exactly the same as Snow, when it's normal summoned, well, tribute summoned rather, it can activate another canvas from deck. But the most important effect on it is the fact that your opponent cannot target or destroy any of your canvases in your back row.
Which is where you start building your advantage.
Which is where you can start building your advantage. The niche sort of key interaction here with one of the cards I will show to you later, the trap here, Rainbow Canvas. This was the new one from Dark Neostorm that we got. Basically, you can tag out one of your Weatheries in response to, say, a Twin Twisters, or any kind of destruction effect that be targeting your back row. You tag out one of your Weatheries, summon one of these from deck, and then you're protected.
Nice.
And it's just basically made them waste their resource. So
now they've just gone like -2.
On a Twin Twisters they go -2, and I can't tell you how many times this has swallowed a Twin Twisters whole.
I can imagine.
It is really hilarious.
So you do need to have it then. It's just you want it in your deck.
You want this to be in your deck, not really in your hand.
Okay, fair enough.
Next one, we're playing 3 Sun. So there's not really any like real reason for the effect, like sort of basically what it does is you can just summon it back from the grave by sending one of your continuous spell traps from the grave to the from field to the grave.
Yeah.
And it basically just summons it back. The reason we're playing 3, we just need to keep our density of monsters quite high.
Yeah.
The thing with this deck, you need to see an even amount of monsters and the canvases to actually get the deck rolling.
Right.
But this one is probably the best one to have at 3 because of the effect to summon back from the grave. We're also playing Heater in the extra deck.
Yeah.
So this also has some pretty nice interactions with Heater.
Yeah.
So that's Sun. Then we're playing One Cloud.
Yeah.
You can play a True Draco engine in this deck. I've chosen not to. This is more a pure version. But this card is amazing if you're playing a True Draco engine, because anytime one of your spells and traps is sent to the grave, you can then activate 2 back from the graveyard.
Nice.
So, and that's up to 2. So if you only send 1, you can basically put it back. But you basically play this as a one-of. In case you run out of Auroras, they out one of your back row. You can chain to summon this from the deck. They'd out it, and then it just put it back in play.
Nice.
And then we're playing 1 Rain. Again, this is just to try and keep the density of monsters as high as possible. But it's sort of a similar kind of like weird niche interactions again. Basically, when it's special summoned, you can activate one of your canvases from hand. So you'll have some times where you just want to trick one of the canvases in from your hand so that your opponent maybe can't evenly it or doesn't see it coming. Just has some weird sort of like synergies there.
Yeah.
So that's it for the painted monsters. We're then on to sort of like the hand trap lineup. So we're playing 3 Nibiru and 3 Ash.
Okay.
So basically, we are a control deck at the end of the day. So Ash is just really good at the moment.
Ash is Ash. Yeah.
It's Ash is Ash. There's not really much to explain there.
Yeah.
But Nibiru, this card. The reason we main deck this, our deck gives no flying fucks about this card.
Yeah.
We don't summon enough for anyone to ever Nibiru us, but we also don't lose out on anything when we Nibiru ourselves.
Yeah.
So, what we do with this, and how you should probably order your chain sequences, say your opponent has reached the 5 summon threshold, and you have a couple of your Weatheries on board. I just want to point out the canvases. They're not once per turn effects.
Okay.
So you can chain all onto the search canvas or all onto the summon canvas. But what you want to do is you want to go chain link 1. You want to do all your Weathery activations first, and then the last thing on the chain should be Nibiru. You want Nibiru to resolve first before all your Weathery effects, so it basically becomes a one-sided board clear. So you basically go plus while you've just cleared your opponent's entire board.
Nice.
So you just get this 3k stick, and the token you can out really easily just by bouncing it. But you can see just the huge swing on the game that you can have with Nibiru.
That sounds nice.
Again, with it being main decked, no one expects it. So
I mean, I've played against you a few times with this now. Always super grindy, but never with Nibiru because it's been a little while. So I know what to look out for.
Yes.
Make Appaloosa quickly.
It is a pretty dirty interaction. I won't lie.
That's filthy.
I've caught a few Salad and Orcus players off guard with that. On to the spells and traps. The most obvious one and probably the best card in the deck is the Snowy Canvas.
Okay.
So how the canvases work, they bestow the monsters above them, so the Weathery monsters above them, and they work in T-shapes, so it'll sort of like these 3 zones above the canvas will be the ones that gain that bullet point. Key thing to note, it's the monster effect, not the spell effect that's activating.
Okay.
So if anything was to negate a spell or trap, say,
they can't stop it.
They can't stop it.
That's pretty cool.
Kind of just a floodgate effect.
Okay.
if you will. But basically what this does is it bestows all the monsters with the quick effect to search any weathery card from your deck to your hand.
Nice.
Like I said before, it's not once per turn, so
you just keep going.
you can do it more than once, but you can only resolve the effect once.
Right.
So you can put multiple of these activations on the chain, but you can only resolve it once a turn.
Right.
It's
but it means you can
weird.
chain block and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you can, if you want to, chain block with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can do some really weird things with like the whole like multiple activation. But yeah, the main thing is just to remember that, you know, if someone does ash it and the effect hasn't resolved, or say, well, not really ash, but say they negate the activation of the monster effect, you can just banish another monster and actually resolve it again.
Okay. Nice.
Next one, this is a must. It is 3 Pot of Extravagance.
Okay.
Our extra deck isn't particularly important. We do use it here and there, but the main thing is we need to see our monsters and our canvases.
Dig deep.
Yeah, so just dig deeper into the deck. 2 cards is a lot of cards.
And I guess something like Desires, you risk banishing too many important pieces.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it doesn't matter about your action.
Yeah, of course. Desires is, you could probably try it. You could probably up your Auroras to maybe 3. You can maybe up the canvas count and play Desires. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Like I say, just use this as a framework for how you build the deck. Desires is obviously a cheaper option with respect to how much extravagances are.
Yeah.
But you know, this may be getting a reprint sometime next year. So when it comes down, then you can get hold of these. But extravagance is just amazing.
Yeah,
there's nothing much else to say about it. Next one, we're playing 2 Pots of Duality.
Yeah.
Like I said before, you just need to dig deep into the deck and make sure that you find the combination of the monsters and the canvases. Maybe a few extra negations or hand traps here and there. So Pot of Duality is just there for the additional consistency.
Yeah.
Just do be aware, if you do Pot of Duality, you won't be able to tag out in the same turn to summon.
But you do quite a lot of that in your opponent's turn anyway,
yeah,
right?
A lot of the time you'll be doing that in your opponent's turn. Turn 1, if you can't tag out anyway because your opponent needs to control a monster.
Sure.
But just remember you can't do any link plays if you've done this.
Yeah.
Which is why it's only played at 2. Next one, and yes,
I haven't seen this card in years. Hey, one of them, is it like old?
Yeah.
The premium packs are where they were?
Yeah, so the Secrets from Premium Pack.
Oh man, I remember that set.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
So we're playing 2 Valhalla. Bit of a classic one.
Yeah.
All of the weathering monsters are fairies, so this is just a free summon.
Yeah.
You basically, if you can get this out as fast as you can, you basically win.
Yeah.
I'll get more into this card a bit later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically it. Obviously, you have the little plays you can make with Aurora with it, and you can just get a free summon.
Yeah.
But the main thing is, there's a small little combo where you can summon Thunder from hand, and then Thunder can then pop this to activate, say, a cloudy canvas. You can then banish Thunder off to search for a snow, and then normal summon the snow, and then get another canvas.
Sure.
So it's just, there's some cute interactions with Valhalla, so that's why we play it.
Right.
And then onto the traps, we have 2 Thunder Canvas.
Yeah.
This is how you make any Thunder Dragon player cry.
Yeah.
Basically what it does is it bestows the monsters above it with the effect to banish during the damage step, so a lot of the time that will dodge a lot of negation effects, and it will bounce the monster it's battling back to the hand.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it does not target.
Okay, so I can see why that's good.
Yeah. So this is how you out a lot of the stuff in today's metagame.
Yeah.
There was actually a funny game where this got royal decreed, and it was a really, really sad moment because I couldn't out my own Nibiru token.
Oh no.
But yeah, this card, it's super frustrating to play around when it's protected by Aurora as well. You know, your opponent can't.
So once you set
this
yourself
very
up, I
easily.
mean, you're normally pretty good with this
Yeah.
anyway.
it's again one of those decks that's just very sticky. It's very resilient, hard to out, and it can have a pretty easy time outing most people's plays and most people's boards.
Yeah.
On to the next one, we have obviously the Rainbow Canvas. So like I explained earlier, this is probably the centerpiece again of the deck, along with the Snowy Canvas. So if your opponent controls a monster, you can banish the Weathery to then summon a Weathery with a different name from your deck. Again, it's not once per turn, but you can only resolve it once a turn.
Okay, sure.
One thing I didn't say with this isn't once a turn either.
Okay, so
you can do this probably 3 times, because you'll have 3 zones in which the Weatheries are affected by it. But yeah, this is obviously the centerpiece of the deck. It's how you make all your plays. It's how you can start going plus and just start tutoring up the things that you need. And then we go on to just the rest of the trap lineup. One of the most important ones, Skill Drain.
Yep.
This card is just amazing on its own anyway, but in this deck it is especially good.
Okay.
As all of your Weatheries are cost to banish.
Okay.
So when you activate the Weathery effect, even though it is a monster effect activating,
you can still activate them under Skill Drain.
Yes, you can still activate under Skill Drain, and they banish as cost and resolve while they're in the banish.
Okay.
So Skill Drain basically just has 0 effect on this deck, so it's like a one-sided effect.
Nice.
Basically for your opponent.
The amount of games is just auto wins as well.
Yeah, this will just basically steal games for you.
Yeah.
And then obviously the final hand trap, we have 3 impermanents. Nothing more to say about this.
Solid.
It's just one of the best negations in the game right now. And then we're playing triple Torrential Tribute.
Yeah.
Bit of a memey one, I know. It's really good in this deck for the same reason that Nibiru is good.
Yeah.
Again, when you activate this card, you can banish away all your Weatheries, so it's basically a one-sided board clear.
Yeah.
So that's that. That's the main deck.
Nice.
On to the extra deck.
Cool.
This is more something you can play around with as you see fit, again, because you're playing Extravagance. The extra deck's not the most important part.
It's usually going to be toolbox stuff, right?
Yeah, it's mainly toolbox stuff, you know, just like your Boral Swords, your Nightmares and everything like that. But yeah, you can just sort of build this how you want, but the main thing is you need at least 2 or 3 copies of the Weather Painter Rainbow.
Yeah.
This card is busted.
Okay.
So you know how Pendulum's like, oh, 4 negates. This is 4 negates in 1 card.
Nice.
So what it does is it bestows the Weathery monsters that are pointing that it's pointing to with the effect to be an Omni negate.
Okay.
So they can banish to negate any card effect or activation and destroy that card.
Nice.
Her herself is also a Solemn Judgment.
Okay.
So when your opponent summons a monster or activates a spell or trap, you can then tribute her to negate the activation and destroy it.
Sweet.
So nothing more to say there. It's just a ridiculous
So once you establish
card.
this and, you know, a few canvases, you normally, like, roll
there's a play, obviously, you can have 3 monsters on board. You can link off for this and then use your suns to summon themselves back to the zones they point to.
Nice.
So that you have your negates there ready.
Sure.
And basically once this is out, your opponent's not playing the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that. And then the rest of the extra deck is just mostly tech cards. So we're playing 1 Break Sword.
Yeah.
Pretty much all of the Weather Painters are level 3.
So it gives you an option.
So this just gives you the option to make Break Sword.
Sure.
We're playing 1 Bryanak. It's a bit of a fun of. It has its weird like niches again because it's bouncing stuff.
Yeah.
It's not destruction. Obviously, destruction is really bad right now given the format we're currently in.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bryanak. It's just in case you have an ash that's a bit of a brick in your hand.
Make use of it.
You can make use of the ash.
Sure.
And then on to the other stuff. We're playing IP. Because IP is IP.
Interrupting your opponent is nice.
Yeah, you can make Bomber Dragon in their turn, and then obviously when your Weatheries return to play, that'll wipe their board.
Trigger it, yeah.
She also has some pretty cool interactions with like Boral Sword, just making it not be destroyed by card effects. Abramax. all the usual stuff. We're playing 2 Heater.
Yeah.
Like I said before, you have the interactions with Sun where you can reborn the Sun. It's also really good against Salamon Great, or anyone that's just playing Ash, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, this can just give you a free Link 4.
Yep.
Cerberus, this is to out your Nibiru tokens, in case you don't have the Thunder Canvas.
Yep.
Phoenix, for obvious reasons, this deck doesn't actually have any main deck back row removal.
So it gives you that option.
So that gives you the option to out a pesky Royal Decree.
Yep.
For instance. Probably shouldn't be playing 2 Unicorns. I just couldn't find another Phoenix.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got a Unicorn in here. And then onto like the Link 4s, Topologic,
Yeah.
Borrowload, Boral Sword, and Abramax.
Okay, sure. All the big 4s.
Just basically all the big 4s that do all the big things.
Makes sense.
So yeah, that's it for the main and extra.
Cool.
The side deck, there's not really too much to explain with. You just basically want to be playing some extra back row removal because you're not playing any in the main board. So stuff like Twin Twisters, Cosmic Cyclones, probably Pankratops, just generally like good sideboard cards that you want to play. I haven't really put together a sideboard here because I don't really see much value in just giving you it. It's basically just going to come down to what you're
playing against. Yeah, of course.
And what you're playing against at the moment. I expect you to be playing against this, like playing this sort of deck at a locals anyway. So
Yeah.
it just comes down to whatever anyone else is playing, really.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, that's it.
All right, well, thank you very much for taking the time to do the profile. Talked about it a few times getting you on here, but we've finally got there in the end. You may have noticed this sweet mat as well. He wasn't sure whether he should use that or borrow Kev's, but I told him use this sweet Star Wars mat. Everyone loves Star Wars.
Yeah.
Especially the OG stuff. Well, again, thank you very much for checking in. Any shout outs before we go?
Yeah, I just want to give a huge shout out to obviously Rufioh right here.
Thank you very much.
For letting me on the channel.
Not a problem.
For letting me get slated in the comments as like a daily. Obviously a huge shout out to Manascrew and Mark. He runs brilliant tournaments for both Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, and even Pokemon.
Yeah.
Known Mark for most of my life, and he's probably one of the greatest guys I know. So,
Oh, look at that.
there we go.
You can hear him in the background. Cool. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to do the profile for us. Really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed the garbage content I put together for you enough to hit subscribe and maybe even drop a thumbs up and a comment. Before you go, be sure to check out the links in the description to help support the people who are making this channel a possibility. Thanks again for checking in, and I'll see you in the next one.